Hi, thanks for joining me on Rachel Mixes It Up. Check out the goodies I have for you today. Remember making almond milk together? Well, we had all that leftover pulp. I was busy making some yummy treats. So let me tell you a little bit of what I have. We have bars here, which are kind of similar to granola bars, a little chewier. We have some chocolate chip cookies and some banana chocolate chip nut bread. So those are three of my favorite things that I make with the leftover pulp. And today we're gonna work on something else. We're gonna work on some energy balls, which are great when you're on the go, looking for a snack for the kids, for after school. I keep them in the freezer and they thaw within 10 minutes. Ready? Let's do it. Before we make the energy balls, I want to talk to you a little bit about almond pulp. So after we made our milk last time, we used 1 cup of almonds and 4 cups of water. And we went ahead and blended that and poured it through the nut milk bag. And then we had pulp left over. So this is 1 cup of almonds and it's about 3/4 cup of pulp. And what you can do with this pulp is you can either use it straight away or store it in the refrigerator in an airtight container for about 3 days. Otherwise, I like to use, as you can tell, I've used this one several times. I just scratch out the old date and put a new one on. I use these quart-size freezer Ziploc bags. And I put the pulp in there and I flatten them down, seal them, and put them right in my freezer. They're good for about 3 months. And when you're ready to use them, pull them out and put them in the refrigerator overnight and they'll defrost and be ready to go the next day. All right, so that's a little skinny on almond pulp. What we have here, besides the almond pulp, is a cup full of dates, and you need them at room temperature. We have dates, almond butter, 2 tablespoons of almond butter. We have, under here, under the chocolate, we have a mixture of chocolate and walnuts, 1/4 cup of each. Okay, and then also 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt. And optional is 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. I love cinnamon, so I sneak it in wherever I can. I almost forgot the vanilla, a teaspoon of vanilla. We're gonna mix them together in different stages, and I'll go through that with you too. Now, for 1 batch of these energy balls, you only need the amount that you got from 1 batch of almond milk. Pretty simple. So whether that be 3/4 cup or 1 cup, same. It's fine. You can use the same ingredients for either or. Okay, so let's first start off by adding our almond pulp to the food processor. Likes to stick in there. You know what? I'm just gonna use my hands. This is how I do it anyway. All right, so there's my almond pulp. And next, I'm going to add my dates. Now, if your dates are a little stiff or they came from the refrigerator, because some packages do recommend that you refrigerate your dates after you open the package, you can soak them in warm water to make them come up to temperature. I'm gonna grab my lid. I'm gonna mix the pulp and the dates. Gotta plug it in first. There we go. Okay, I think that looks good. We have a few chunks of dates in there, which is just fine. They'll break up some more as we add more. So now I'm gonna add the almond butter. I like to use just almonds, roasted almonds and sea salt, or just straight up almonds, and that's the type of almond butter I go for. I don't add extra sugar if I don't have to. And then 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt. And the vanilla. I almost forgot the vanilla. Won't be the end of the world if you forgot it. All right, I'm gonna blend this again. Awesome. You can see it starting to ball up on its own, which is a good sign. That's what you want it to do, because you want it to stick together. All right, and it smells so good. And it's like a consistency of cookie dough without the raw egg, so you won't get sick if you eat it. All right, now we're going to add the walnuts and the chocolate chips. Sometimes I use cacao nibs in lieu of chocolate chips, but I don't have any on hand. I'm gonna add some cinnamon, and chia seeds go really well in here, and hemp hearts too. So kind of get away with anything with these. Perfect. And when it starts doing that, starts rolling on its own, that's exactly what you want it to do. That's perfect. These are going to be great for forming into balls. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Now that we have everything mixed up, we're going to roll the protein balls or energy balls, however you want to call them. So I just have a spoon here. Side note, remove any jewelry before doing this. Your rings will get all gunked up if you roll them with your rings on. All right. However big you want them to be, you know, if your kids are eating them and you cut back on their sugar, I mean, it is just dates, but there are chocolate chips in here too. You want it to be a manageable size. I think these are pretty good. About the size of a golf ball, perhaps a little smaller, but you choose. It's up to you. Put them aside. You roll them almost like if you've ever made truffles. This is very similar to making chocolate truffles, which maybe we should do that sometime. Little Christmas candy video. Ooh, yeah, that sounds great. All right. So you're gonna continue doing this until you're completely done. And then once you're done, you're going to roll them in whatever you want. Some people do flaked coconut. Some people do chopped nuts, really finely chopped nuts. I personally really like ground cinnamon and cacao. So we'll do that. I have been known to dip them into chocolate and let the chocolate harden so they have a chocolate shell on the outside. That's really yummy too. It's quite simple. Again, reminds me of doing truffles when you dust them with chocolate. So this is a cacao, and it's just straight up cacao powder. This is a messy job. But if you have kids that like to get their hands dirty, this is a great task for them to do. And then they get to choose what they want on their snack as well. Do you want cinnamon? Do you want cacao? So there's a couple cacao. We'll do a couple cinnamon too. Now, storing these, like I mentioned before, I prefer storing them in the freezer because they last longer and they only take 10 to 15 minutes to thaw. When I'm heading to the gym, I can pop one of these in a little container and take it with me by the time I'm done at the gym and just need a little snack before going to the grocery store. Because you don't want to go to the grocery store hungry. Bad idea, right? We all know that. So it'll be ready for you to eat. And it's a consistency of cookie dough, like I mentioned too, which is really delicious. Who doesn't like cookie dough? All right, that's it. It's that simple. So easy to do. And another great way to use up that almond pulp, and without baking as well, because sometimes we just don't have time to do the baking. Very, very easy. All right, I'll do one more. And then I'm gonna eat them all. No, I'm just kidding. I'll resist the temptation. All right. And sometimes I label them, like if you wanna know which ones are cacao and which ones are cinnamon, then put them in 2 different containers and just label them with some tape or something. But sometimes it's a fun surprise. You grab one out, you don't know what you're gonna get until you bite into it, if you like both. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I think I might need to wash my hands. Go ahead and hit the like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.